telling me that I was supposed to be on this panel discussion. And the first thing I actually thought was, what am I going to sit here and talk about? I prepared probably about 5 speeches that at the end of reading them, I'm like, this isn't me. So I decided I'm going to come, no paper, nothing. And I'm just going to tell you guys about the reality that I face as a lesbian woman in the Caribbean, as a military officer in Belize particularly, and as a mother, a lesbian mother. There's a lot in Belize, of course, that since 1978, when we started our women's movement in Belize, there's been a lot of advancement in regards to women's rights and where we are at this point. We've actually gained grounds in gender policy. We've gained grounds in common law union. We've gained grounds in actually having a say or having a share if there is supposed to be a divorce or what the woman would be entitled to in the relationship if it were to fall apart. However, in all those policies that I mentioned, there's nothing in there for me, because my relationship itself is not considered a marriage. My relationship is not considered common law. My relationship is not even considered. Numerous times it's been described as a rage of hormones. And this is for someone who is in a serious relationship for going on 7 years. My partner and I have decided that we're going to have a child. He's 2 today. Today's his birthday. He's 2 years old today, and we're still not considered to have a relationship. My name is Castillo-Salazar because we did a deed poll in order for us to join our names together. And we're still just considered as roommates who live in the same house. And we're both in the military. We're both serving our country. And within all these advancements, there is nothing in there for us. So for me, I'm actually a captain in the regular force. It's my 24/7 job. That's what I do. I give back to my country. And if something was supposed to happen to me tomorrow, the law, my family, everyone has the right to take my son away from my partner, because technically she's not considered his biological mother. If she is to have that, I'm supposed to give up guardianship of him. So it's either or either. And for us serving the military, we both, after a certain period, we would be liable to getting our pension, or government pension, and literally he's not considered a beneficiary of hers. And I think about that because in every day when I'm considered a troublemaker. I love that name. But every day when I have something to say in regards to what's happening with my life, I actually got feedback last week when I attended a discussion by one of our fellow organizations, PETAL. I used my rank to actually take the females that work with me to this session. And I was asked by my superior, why do you guys need to have a Women's Month? Don't you already have all the rights that you need? And I told him, I said, the interesting thing about this talk is that this is being co-sponsored by an LB organization, a lesbian bisexual organization. And to be honest, that was the first time that LGBT, although they're only lesbian and bi, organization has actually publicly addressed the infraction that we face. And to an extent, I told him, while I might be the only lesbian that's here, I'm the only one who's publicly saying that I'm a lesbian. There are others who are there working, who are serving their country, and they're not as open as I am to say that they are lesbian. Or there are some guys who are not open to say that I do not feel I'm in the right body, that I feel that I'm transgender. There are some guys who are bisexual, some women who are bisexual. And because of the policies that are in place, we don't feel protected. Every day it's a challenge. Like I say, it's a challenge for me. And I look at it, and something that struck me was the fact that they said men and boys should be included. I remember when my partner and I decided we wanted to have a child, we prayed to the universe for a boy. And my mom's like, why do you want a boy? Society will say you're going to turn the boy gay. I told my mom that's my opportunity to actually turn a boy into a man. Because if I have a woman, if I have a female, she'll probably go through what I go through. But if I have a son and he sees what a woman goes through, he will grow up to appreciate women, and he'll be one to step up and say something because his mothers are going through it. So I personally believe that with the advancement, especially in Canada and across the world, not only in Belize, but there are a lot of other Caribbean countries who have pretty much the same policies that we face in Belize. Yes, we've made advancement with Section 53. However, there's still a lot more that needs to be covered. And I think with addressing LBT issues within Belize and within the Caribbean, it's still taboo. And because it's still taboo, we find that while we're included in these policies, we're outrightly being excluded because it's not being stated. There is no law in Belize that has the word sexual orientation in it. They have been addressing to have sexual identity being placed in regards to it, but that is only to counter us for Marriage Act so that we don't challenge the Marriage Act. So within Belize and other Caribbean countries, there's a lot of work that has been done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And in the end, it points back to us actually having a voice, to us actually being invited to the tables in order for us to discuss what we face, or our issues that we face. And like I said, I wanted to bring a lot of statistics and things, but I thought that it was important to bring the reality of what we face. We work, we put in our pound within our country, we do what we're supposed to do. And yet in the end, we're still not stable families because we're not considered families. So I think discussing the LBT, I'm going to say the LGBTQI persons within policies, it's very important. Not only economically, but socially, because we're here, we need to be included. And it's not only us being affected, it's our children. So thank you very much for that.